Dames en heren, Toya Jackson. How you doing? They like you.
Oh, good. That's nice.
Yeah, because you've been touring in Holland for a couple of days now.
Yes, for a few days I have.
How's the audience?
Very well.
Yeah?
Yes.
Toya, I've been reading your book the last couple of days, and I'm very much impressed. Let me tell you that. Because after reading it, I thought, what the hell did they do to you? What the hell did your father do to you? He abused you. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Well, as you know from reading the book, there was a lot of abuse in the family. There was not only physical and emotional abuse, but there was also sexual abuse. And I think this is something that needs to be addressed to the world, to the public, to let people know that sexual abuse is wrong, and we should put a stop to it. My father was a very abusive person, and I think he didn't know how to control it, or he didn't know or realize what he was doing. He did lots of things. He would beat us constantly. He would take guns and put them to our heads and pull the trigger all the time until the day I left home. He would take matches and burn our toes, and he would laugh, and we couldn't do anything. Because if you would say no or whatever when you were asleep and he's burning your toes, he would beat you. So you'd have to stay there and just take the pain and not do anything.
What kind of man is this?
Well, I think he's mentally deranged, don't you?
I agree with you.
I think he's mentally disturbed. I don't think that...
But still, Toya, you stayed with your parents till you were 30 years old. Why didn't you...
Till I was 29, yes, a very long time.
Why didn't you get out of the house sooner?
I made several attempts to leave. And, you know, you can ask me this question. Yes, of course, I made several attempts to leave. But I never could leave because my father would always say, wherever you go, I'm going to find you and bring you back home. And my mother was sort of like the silent partner. And she would always say, but it's not good for you to be out there alone. You're a girl and someone can follow you home, and it's very dangerous. But as you asked me that question... So you terrorized the whole family in a way, didn't you? Oh, everybody. I was basically next to the last to leave home. Michael left home 1 week after I did. And you could say, why did he stay? He could have left as well, but he didn't.
He not only did terrible things to you with matches and things like that, but he also sexually abused you.
Yes.
You want to talk about that?
Yes, I don't want to get graphic with it, but yes, it was quite terrible. He would abuse my sister. We slept in the same bed, and he would sexually abuse her. He would come into the bed constantly, and I was right there in the same bed. And my mother would allow it to happen. She would say to him sometimes, Joe, not tonight. She's tired, don't bother her. And I would be right there in the bed, and I would keep the covers over my head because I would hear my sister fighting and screaming. And she asked my mother to go to a psychiatrist and get a psychiatrist for him, but she said no, not at all. So my sister left home at a very young age, and when she left home, then my father started sexually abusing me.
Who do you hate more? Your father who did these things to you, or your mommy?
I don't like to use the word hate.
Because I think you hate somebody who does that to you.
It's a wrong word to use, I think, this word hate. But I know that I should. Most people tell me that. Psychologists tell me that I should hate. But my mother, yes. Because my father was disturbed. I think any man who sexually abused his daughter, something is wrong right here. But nothing was wrong with my mother, and she allowed him to do these things. It's very wrong. You don't allow your husband to sexually abuse your children like this.
In general, Toya, is it possible for you, after everything that happened to you, to have a normal relationship, not only sexual, but with a man? Difficult question?
Yes, it's a difficult question.
The answer is no, I think.
No, it's just a difficult question.
Why didn't you sue him? Get him to court.
It won't do any good because if I should do this to my father, then he will go directly to jail. I don't believe my father belongs in jail. I think that he belongs in a mental hospital. I think he needs to be treated therapy for what he's done. He doesn't need to be in prison, no.
This is not a punishment for him and for your mother?
No, this book is to reach out to other people who've been abused, and I want them to speak out the minute it happens to them and not wait for years because it's very, very bad. Mentally, it's not good for you because you live with this anger and this fear inside of you, and it's not healthy for your system. So I think anybody who's ever been abused should speak out and let people know that you're being abused. Because eventually, what the abuser doesn't know is eventually that person that they're abusing is going to tell on you sooner or later. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but eventually that person will speak out and say, this person abused me.
This book is a bestseller, isn't it? Is it fair to make money out of your own misery?
It's not making money out of my misery. I don't think. I'm approaching other people and letting them speak out. I don't think it's about money. It's nothing to do with it. The proceeds that I will get from this book, which will probably be in the next year or so, will go to children who've been abused, as well as adults. There are a lot of grown women out there who are afraid to speak up and who are embarrassed, and they need to talk about it. This is a subject that's so taboo that we don't want to talk about it, but we need to open up and let the world know that you've been abused so we can put a stop to this, because it's very unfair to do that to people. If they want to have sex or do whatever they want to people or children, then go to your red light district and do it. But don't do it to innocent victims. It's wrong.
You were a very religious person. The whole Jackson family was Jehovah's Witness. Still, you posed for the Playboy. Was that a way to punish your parents, or to say, now I'm grown up and I do whatever I want to do?
It was a way to show them that this is my independence. It's
And you
me,
did
it's
it
my
twice,
life,
huh?
and I do what I choose and what I will. It's also a way of getting back at the religion to show them that you don't control and dictate to me anymore, because the religion was a very strict religion that controlled and dictated everything we did, actually. And the second time I did it is because when I did it the first time, my mother said, "I will never speak to you again." I didn't believe her. I would call her every day and she'd hang the phone up in my face for 3 years. And she says, "This is your punishment for doing what you did, for not listening to me." So I did it again to show her, you can't punish me for years because of this. It's nothing so bad. It's exposing the breasts. You have it in your magazine every day.
You didn't change your breasts, huh?
No, no.
Only,
no, it's
only
mine.
your nose.
Only my nose, yeah.
Who had that nose first, Michael or you?
This one. This
Oh,
is
yeah,
my
the other one. But they look alike a little bit.
Yeah, it's my brother and sister.
Who wants to look like who?
I think he likes, I don't know, he's not happy with his looks because when he was younger, my father would always say, "Oh, look at that ugly nose on your face." And
Potato nose, he called it.
yes, he called it a really big, ugly nose all the time to Michael, and he hated it. And he says, "I don't want this nose. I don't want to look like my father." So he changed his nose. And he didn't like it, and he kept changing it over and over and over again. And I think that he's never satisfied. He's never content.
How many operations did you have on your nose?
Only one. Only one. But it's because I didn't like it. And I think if you don't like something, don't complain about it. Just change it. And that's what I did. I changed it.
Thank you for being here,
You're
and I
welcome.
thought it was very courageous to talk about a very emotional thing like abuse, sexual abuse, here on my show. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
LaToya
You're
Jackson.
welcome.
Thank you very much.